it's great. And, you know, of course, we're talking about Our American Family, and, you know, there definitely is that air of Philadelphia when you're watching this family. You definitely feel that coming through. But I had told you how much I enjoyed the film and how important I think it is for people to see. It's definitely gritty, real, honest, and really no stone is left unturned with the family that we're seeing battle addiction on many different levels. So first of all, congratulations on the Audience Choice Award at Woodstock, and then the selection for Philadelphia's Film Festival next week.
Thank you so much. We're so honored to be sharing the story. And I heard you say the word gritty, which is no flyer relation in the moment, but I'm glad you said it, because when we started, you see Nicole in our film, she actually really used the word nitty gritty before we started shooting. And she said, you know, I'm tired of watching films that glamorize drug use. I'm tired of seeing things that just sensationalize addiction. Like, we want to show the nitty gritty. We want to show the emotional pieces of this for a family that all families can connect to. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask about. You know, you really capture this family at such a pivotal time, and especially with Nicole's journey through addiction. There's a lot of uncomfortable moments, whether it's Nicole and her brother kind of having it out while, I think, painting, or the family dinners that really kind of take a turn just based off of where the conversation goes. How important was it for you to capture those? But the other question is, what's it like being in the room when the family's doing this, or going through this, I should say?
Well, as far as what it's like to capture those moments, how important it is, to capture those moments, that's what's essential. You know, for people to really either build compassion or be able to genuinely relate to the struggle on the screen, it needs to be just very real and very immersive, you know, and that's what all of us were committed to. We were committed to just genuinely capturing these moments that families can relate to. When someone in a family or multiple people in a family are struggling, like, it's natural for resentment to build up. It's natural to have moments of anger that, you know, can spill over. It's natural to feel like you have to be quiet when someone else is dealing with something hard and hide your own personal struggle or something that's difficult for you. So to be able to present that to families in the most honest way was always important for us. And as far as what is it like recording or capturing those moments, I mean, it's like we were a part of the family. So it was uncomfortable, you know, it was hard sometimes.
Sure.
You know, it genuinely was, especially because we really love this family. You know, I hope you feel that in the film. You know, we really love this family. So you never want to see anybody you love having a hard moment. But if we didn't capture it, and, you know, if Seamus and Sean weren't unflinching with their cameras, it just wouldn't be real.
Yeah, and that gets back to the showing the nitty gritty. I mean, that's really what it's all about with this film. What was the impetus for the film? How did you first decide this was the type of film you wanted to make?
Everything about this film really was kind of outside me, to be honest with you. This is a project that was just driven by, it started by being driven by chance, honestly. I was working on I'm a children's book author. I was working on a novel where it was a sibling story. One of the siblings was struggling with addiction and the other was not. And when Linda, who lives in the same township as me, Linda's the mother in Our American Family, when she heard about the project, she recommended that I speak with her children, Nicole and Stephen, who you'll see in the film. And from there, we developed a multi-year relationship. Wow. And it really wasn't until, like, you know, it was really just feeling this family's drive and passion to break stigmas, to invite people into this story that so many families want to hide, that honestly inspired me to want to lift them and work with them and share this really real and raw story.
Wow, that is quite by chance, huh? That's
Yeah, everything was, it was everything was a blessing. It was a blessing that I had the opportunity to work with Sean and our incredible team. Like everything really came together in the way that it was meant to come together. And we were obviously lucky to also capture a story of hope that can be inspiring for other families.
absolutely. You mentioned Stephen by name, and I actually wanted to ask about Stephen. There's a lot of different family dynamics at play in this film. And even I keep going back to sitting around the dinner table and just seeing sort of the interaction between the family and sort of the role that each of them play. Stephen really is sort of the one that takes a step back. He's not, as I would say, vocal in the film with everything else going on, but you can definitely see that he is the one that is feeling the brunt of a lot of this. I think his mom even says at one point she recognizes that she always views him as not having to worry about him, and she's aware that she probably doesn't give him the attention that he deserves. How did you balance all of these different family dynamics and journeys of the individuals to tell such an authentic film or authentic story? I apologize.
Well, I'm glad you are bringing up Stephen because he is obviously so important in the family. Every one of the family members isn't so important, but he's important in that a lot of people who are silent when other people in their family are struggling, it's the reminder, hopefully, to audiences that to ask questions to the person in your family that is silent, or ask questions to the person in your family who's like, like you mentioned that Linda said, I think I missed something with Stephen this week. And that tends to happen with him. He was really honest and so caring for his siblings. And at the same time, felt a little bit of frustration, honestly, that sometimes these great things in his life do go unnoticed. So again, just part of the realness of story. And I'm glad you're bringing him up so that people can watch the film and ask that question, like, can I relate to Stephen, or is there a Stephen in my life that I can reach out to?
Yeah, it just really hit me watching. He, you always kind of see him just observing what's happening. And you're exactly right. I mean, there's always someone in the family that may not be the loudest or may not be the most involved, but they may be hurting just as much as everyone else is in a different way. Was anything off limits when you were capturing what this family was going through?
Most things weren't off limits, but what we did was when there was something that was making the family uncomfortable, there was one moment where, we talked to Stephen about going to, like, 'cause Stephen also gets support at different meetings, with, other siblings that have, relatives that are struggling with addiction and substance abuse disorder. So there was a moment where we talked to Stephen, like, what do you think about us, working with your group? And he was not fully comfortable with that. Sure. So we had the rule that the family was opening their doors and giving so much already, like that there was really no reason to push beyond what they were already so generous in wanting to do. And he was comfortable sharing it with his story, his piece, but I think he was concerned, would everybody else in the room be that comfortable too, and felt funny asking. So there were things like that we felt we wanted to honor and respect this family that was already being beyond brave.
Absolutely. I mean, they were bearing all. I said that when I first watched it. I was telling someone about it, and I said, this is a documentary that stands out because it feels like no stone was left unturned. That it was very real because the family was putting themselves out there and just allowing you to see the ups and downs of the entire journey. How's the family doing today?
The family, look, I mean, what the family wants everybody to know, what's super important is there is no perfect bow. Every day they keep showing up and doing hard work. Every day Linda's going to continuously remind herself, like we see in the film, she's often struggling with enabling, so she has to, after living a lifetime with a mother who had struggled with addiction, she has to continuously remind herself to not minimize, to not enable, and she's working hard on that and works hard on that every day. I mean, what's most exciting to share, which the family's comfortable like sharing, not like through me as a vessel, is,
Sure.
you know, that Nicole, I guess this is a spoiler alert, but Nicole is now working as a senior treatment advisor.
Oh,
She
wow.
has helped over 900 people get placed into treatment for a crisis call center, And last week she had a milestone of earning 4 years of sobriety.
That's incredible. That's so great to hear as well. It's just a journey. I'm kind of taken aback by that, because when you see the struggles and the early days really of Nicole's push and her journey, there's a lot of conversations around, we've been here before, and you know, why is this time different? Why does this feel different? And it's so nice to see and great to hear that there is, you know, success, that you can push through. And it is an ongoing journey, and I'm sure the family will continue to push through and battle those demons every day. But it's just an incredible window that we get through the film to be able to see that this is very real, and it affects so many families throughout the world, really.
Yeah.
What do you hope people take from this movie?
Well, I just wanted to mention also that Nicole is actually going to join us, and so are some of the other family members at our screening for Q&A
Excellent.
at the Philadelphia Film Festival on October 23rd. So if anybody wants to join us and hear from the family directly, they will be able to at that time, and should be like, you know, an important screening. But as far as what we want to accomplish with the film, I mean, one of the things is to obviously present a true story, you know, present the nitty gritty like we talked about. But from there, to also remind other families, like there are so many families struggling, to remind other families that they don't have to carry the burden of shame. Other families are struggling too. And this family, like as you see in the film, this family from Our American Family can be any family. Yeah. This can be your next door neighbor. This can be, you know, your landscaper's child or your doctor's wife. Like this can be any family. And we hope that audiences will walk away with compassion or connection.
Hallee, it's incredibly inspirational, the film itself and the family. Thinking just from my own experience with addiction in the family, and some of the conversations that were had, and even just being able to see another family have the same discussions is really supportive in a different type of way. So I thank you for capturing that. It's really an incredible documentary, and I think Nicole's original hope that you capture the nitty gritty of what it all means, it's a great success in that sense, because you absolutely did that. So I look forward to seeing it once again at the Philadelphia Film Festival. I will be there for the Q&A, and hopefully I'm lucky enough to chat with the family and thank them as well. But I thank you for taking the time today. I was very excited to chat with you. I love this film, and I'm really glad to see that it's starting to really get out there, and hopefully greater success in the future.
And thank you so much for all you do. You're one of our favorite guys at the movies, and we're so excited to be here with you, and can't wait to see you at the screening.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.